to get it that night. I couldn't even call the side. I screamed dead things every time trying to keep my dog alive. He wasn't supposed to be the night dad, so Lord, why? I woke up, got the news about Tickles. I actually started crying. It's hard to wrap my head around that shit. That's my name side. It's fucked up how they caught us down bad pants down, but one coming outside. Going to a jet time, it was the man down there was on their side. See the niggas back parking with their head down, men getting taped around. They want to throw us off some blocks, so I said, we want to run them down. Going to take get back for you. It was going down. Fell in love with that stick kid, but had that bed every time.
Yo, what it is, good people, we is back. Another day of Keep It G News. And then we in Opa-Locka, Florida. I think I pronounced it right. If I didn't, don't kill me. To talk about a gang war that's been going on now between two rap crews, two rival crews. That's roughly 6 miles apart, 6 minutes. One crew is in Cordoba Courts and the other one resides in Gloretta Gardens. Like I said, 6 miles apart. You know how this go. Proximity killings, you know. People call it black on black crime. I call it you kill who you're around. It goes like that for every race. Now, we know in our community, it's rampant, you know, because poverty is rampant. Whenever you got poverty, you got crime. Whenever you strip an area of opportunity, you're going to have crime. It's a couple key factors that weigh into this. Now, in this situation, like I say, countless people were shot, man. In one incident, 26 people were shot. 3 murdered that day. Another incident, 3 people were shot, claiming the life of a 6-year-old girl. Then another incident, 2 people were shot, 1 dead. And we're going to discuss all of that in this video because, you know, how I do when I cover these type of topics. I got to take y'all back into the beginning, how it all started, because we're going to work our way up to what actually happened. You know, what was the ending result in this 26 person being shot case, you know. Got to work our way up. Because a lot of key things, there was a lot of pivotal points that happened along this way, you know. Even one guy got his case thrown out. Imagine that. Imagine confessing to being a part of a crime that 26 people was hurt, 3 murdered, and the case get thrown out. Yeah, crazy. You know, crazy. That's why you got to know your laws, man. You got to know the laws of the land. Once you get in that situation, you got to know what you allowed to get away with and what you not. Police dropped the ball on this one. You feel me? And they might have dropped the ball on the whole case because the case ain't over. It ain't over. But I'm not going to keep holding y'all up, man. Before I get into what actually happened with this situation, I'm going to introduce y'all to 2 crews. Back Blues and the Bricks.
Hundred round for 2, 3, who that? Probably gon' get a nigga walking this bitch. Stepping on like a walk door, man. You don't wanna hear applause, you don't wanna let it come in this bitch. Got the drop of the road, where you at? Right to the rats coming, nigga better get up out of that bitch. She be cruising around with Cadillac.
We pull up back to back, squeeze it till it's empty. Niggas say they slide, that shit that don't scare me. 2 o'clock we ride, tryna catch a 2-piece. We don't do no hide, niggas know what we be. Push up on a nigga, spin his block and do a repeat.
I say now we on route, they done must have forgot to go. Up down there, 100 point, bitch blow down. We with gus mode, we done roll by 100 joints. Put a water down, now he gon' shoot from the window. Niggas try to see if they sitting spinning on my side. Bitches come right with you straight, but niggas never be outside.
How the fuck you say you run the locks? You ain't been out block, bitch, we in the fucking locks. And we on the block, bitch, you wanna smoke, come pop. And we poppin' shot, bro, them pop out of the lock. And they looking for that nigga that they call what? Bro, them business block, and they dropped 100 shots.
I be switching up, ain't no telling how I'm pulling up. My right wrist I bought, boogers in her face, diamonds ain't crushed. Run on 50 plus, I was in the bricks, coolin' with blood. Everybody know what it was, shot gate to the duck, coolin' with cubs.
Right with you straight, but niggas never be outside.
You address me, big AB right now, I'm with the Apers. Bitch, don't approach me like no fan, bro, Burt that baby kill. Could've shot a 3 to up, that scope, bro, hopped out, shot a limb. Conscious shot like 50 out of the Glock, that bitch still hot as hell.
I swear them boys don't want no beef, I bro, no press the issue. Say you in the streets, go hit that range to get your aim official.
There's a couple pivotal guys in this whole situation. A few of them rappers, some of them ain't. JRG Hatchet, AMB Spitter, and 4-Pack. You know, these guys reside in the Back Blues. And then you got a rapper from the Bricks, a guy by the name of Young Savage. You know, all drill rappers. Y'all know how I feel about drill. I ain't gonna get into it in this. But we cover this a lot, man, where drill rappers are getting wiped down and wiped out, you know, for living their raps. You know, because that's really what they're doing. They're living their raps, man. And you know, sometimes you get carried away into the rap life. Now, I'm not saying that's not how they was living before then, because we know now, rap game not like it used to be. It was art imitating the streets, but now it's the streets imitating art. You know, the streets then worked its way into the rap game. Now y'all know the players of the game. It's time to play the game. You know, what actually happened. What's some of the key pivotal points that happened in this whole situation. And I'm going to run them down to you. One by one.
Heartbreaking. Now, while that little girl has died, there are 2 others that are recovering in this hospital. Chastity was leaving a 2-year-old's birthday party on Saturday when her life was cut short. Neighbors told NBC6 families were leaving the house around 7 in the evening when the shooter opened fire. Neighbors say they heard more than 20 gunshots.
Responded to an apartment complex located at 1355 Alibaba Avenue in reference to 2 males shot. 2 males suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. Miami-Dade fire rescue personnel responded and determined Antoine Streeter deceased on the scene. During the course of the investigation, we were able to obtain surveillance footage which captured a white Toyota RAV4 entering the parking lot of the apartment complex. The vehicle then circled back around and the subject began to shoot from inside the vehicle towards the crowd.
I have 1 patient shot below the groin, 2nd patient shot in the abdomen, 3rd patient shot in the arm and the leg. Patient number 4 is below the knee.
A mass shooting at a banquet hall in northwest Miami-Dade. 2 people killed, more than 20 others hurt.
They taking your brother! They took your brother! They took your brother! My son is dead! You're gonna burn!
Dillard's father grieving, begging police to let him see his son's body as it's still on the scene, covered by a tarp.
I have nothing. Nothing.
Dillard's body laying in 90-degree weather for nearly 18 hours.
No!
Whoever did this, they took a beautiful person. Inside and out, totally beautiful.
Another family left grieving after the death of 32-year-old Shaniqua Peterson.
It's senseless killing over nothing.
Peterson was one of several people shot during Sunday morning's mass shooting outside a northwest Miami-Dade banquet hall. Her family tells us a bullet was lodged in her head as she fought for her life in the hospital. Around 3 Thursday afternoon, they got the call, letting them know she did not make it. Peterson's death is the 3rd stemming from this shooting.
I ain't believe it.
Her older brother not wanting to show his face on camera while the killers are still out there, but has a strong message for those criminals.
You people killing each other for what? For fame, reputation? So somebody can say that you tough? Nah, that make you a coward. Only cowards kill people for no reason.
He tells us his sister leaves behind a 12-year-old son.
It's gonna be hard for him to go on every day throughout the rest of his life now, knowing that his mama not there.
2 other men died that night in the shooting, 26-year-old Clayton Dillard and Desmond Owens, a young father of 2, also just 26 years old.
No parent should have to bury.
So this all started with the murder of a 16-year-old girl, gunned down, leaving a party for a 2-year-old. Now, I'm sure it might have been something happened before this, but this is where we start. You know, it had to have been something that'll lead these guys to do something so brazen, but at the same time so cowardly. Like shooting up 2-year-old parties? Like, come on, make it make sense. And I'm not trying to hear that they didn't know this was a child party. You know how kids' parties look. You know, it might be decorations on the door. You might got a bouncy machine outside. You know, it's evident. But either way, that's what they decided to do. Then you had the murder of Antoine Streeter. 19 years old when he was gunned down, man. And before I continue, let me say my condolences to all lives lost in this situation. Anybody that's still living, they got to deal with this pain, you know, because we talking about multiple gunshots. We talking about machine guns firing at parties. Like, yeah, it's real, you know. But Streeter lost his life tragically. Cowardly too, in my opinion. Drive-bys. Y'all know how I feel about drive-bys. Just the visual of it. It's not gangster to me. You know? It's just not, yo. I don't respect it. It leaves too much room for error. Now, in this situation, nobody innocent got murdered. You know? Not saying that he deserved to die, but when you play in the streets, you know how the streets go. You know, things can happen, and more than likely, it will happen. But we seen what happened with the 6-year-old that lost their life, man. 3 other people were shot that day, man. They probably didn't hit None of the intended targets. 6-year-old girl dies. You know, but we ain't just in there, you know. When you got these type of things going on, it's like you playing ping pong. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. But that's what leads me to the 26
Three
people
of them
being
got
shot.
out of a white Pathfinder. At least one other seen firing from a different angle. The shooters ditched the stolen Pathfinder after the crime, police later pulling it from a canal.
Cell phone video shows the chaotic moments after the bullet stopped flying outside El Mula Banquet Hall. Up to 25 people were hit. 2 were killed on the scene.
They said that some guys came from 3 guys that they noticed with hoodies, and they just started shooting up the area for whatever reason.
Rapper Spitta was performing. The flyer for the event said it was an album release party.
Devonte Barnes, in his own words on tape, describing his alleged role as lookout in the mass shooting outside El Mula Banquet Hall. Video of his interview with Miami-Dade homicide detectives played for jurors on day 4 of Barnes's trial. The 23-year-old faces 3 counts of first-degree murder and 21 counts of attempted murder in connection to the shooting on Memorial Day 2021.
Whose side was T-Man on?
The bricks. Prosecutors delved into the alleged motive behind the shooting, a long-standing feud between 2 rival groups called the Back Blues and the Bricks.
Did the problem between the Back Blues and the Bricks go back years before the El Mula mass shooting happened?
Yes. Barnes also identified other people he claims were involved in the crime.
Doula would be Warneric Buckner.
Warneric Buckner was at one point the second man arrested for this crime, but his charges were later dropped because he was questioned without his requested lawyer. Barnes said Buckner was one of the men inside the white Pathfinder.
He's identifying Doula coming out of the front passenger seat.
Now, what I don't understand is, if you got problems with a person, right? You know, because I understand the mind frame. Trust me, I do. You know, all of them is going to be here. So this is the perfect chance to get them. I get it. But at the same time, how did you not factor in that it's going to be a lot of innocent people there? And those 26 people were shot. They only got one of their intended targets, man, and killed 2 innocent people. And then you heard in the videos, they bragged about it, talking about I'm going to get 3. But this is what's going on right now. This is the streets. This is acceptable. But I don't like it. You understand? But I ain't want to dive too far deep into that aspect of it, of what I like and what I don't like. I really want to give y'all the story. So, let's fast forward some more. Guy gets locked up for these shootings. 2 people, as a matter of fact. But somewhere along the line, the case got fumbled.
2 weeks of trial, 20 witnesses taking the stand. Jurors in the trial of the accused lookout in the El Mula Banquet Hall mass shooting, they're now deliberating.
3 people were killed, 20 others injured. NBC6 reporter Christian Colon is live in Miami with the latest on the trial. Christian.
Yeah, jurors have been deliberating for more than an hour now. The last we heard from them was at the top of the hour. They had a question about one of the charges, and they have a long list to choose from. Devonte Barnes is facing 3 first-degree murder charges, 20 attempted murder charges, and 1 conspiracy to commit murder.
It was like a chess game, and Devonte Barnes was a pawn. A lookout, prosecutors say, patrolled the El Mula Banquet Hall before the shooter started firing.
Coordinated, deliberate until the moment is right. And then they attack.
Nearly 100 casings were found on the crime scene, and 9 different guns were used to attack a crowd celebrating a party for a rap artist. Shaniqua Peterson, Clayton Dillard, and Desmond Owens all lost their lives that Memorial Day weekend.
They knew the target, they knew the plan, and they executed it.
Barnes admitted he was on scene as a lookout with his mom's silver Nissan.
Your role is 2 ways. Are you the lookout or are you the shooter? Yeah. What do you think you are? The lookout. Okay, because we know you're not the shooter because we have video of you not getting out of the car.
A confession defense attorneys say was wrongfully obtained, highlighting 2 hours of interrogation before the confession that jurors couldn't hear because it was distorted. Police say they tried their best to recover it but failed.
We were only talking about dogs, rap, and football. And if you believe that, well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I would submit to you, you would believe that I could play in the NBA.
Warnick Buckner and Devonte Barnes was the only 2 people arrested for this 26 people being shot. But they was only able to keep 1 because, like I said, they fumbled the case, you know. And that's what brings me into the 6-year-old, because at this time, there was nobody arrested for this 6-year-old murder. But you know how the gang go, man. You know, when you involve yourself in criminality to this level, to this degree, oh no, they ain't letting you get away with nothing. So though Eric Buckner got off, and I'm going to get to how he got off, you know, because how he got off was important in his major, and it's something that we all can learn from. But in order for me to explain to y'all how he got off, I want you to see what happened after he got off.
And Calvin, this is a day the family thought might never come. 6-year-old Chastity Saunders gunned down 2.5 years ago, and today we've learned that a man who's no stranger to the law is now being blamed for this heinous crime.
The detectives kept their word, and I'm glad and thankful.
A father is thankful that someone is now facing charges for killing his 6-year-old daughter.
It just took forever, and it's finally here. Like, it would have never, I thought it was going to be a cold case.
Chastity Saunders died in January of 2021 while attending a birthday party in Northwest Miami-Dade. As the party wrapped up for the evening, a car rolled by and shots were fired. 2 adults were hit by bullets and survived. Little Chastity was shot in the head.
Why you had to shoot? You didn't even look, check your surroundings or nothing. That was an innocent child.
The man now facing charges is 22-year-old Warnick Buckner, who is already behind bars on unrelated federal charges. He's accused of second-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Buckner was also one of the men arrested in connection to the mass shooting at the El Mula Banquet Hall.
In a word, Miranda, the warning that's a staple of every cop show you've ever watched. But it's real, a constitutional right. And once a suspect in custody asks for a lawyer, interrogations are supposed to stop. This one did not.
After this, like, when I'm going to examine son? Oh, well, it all depends on what you tell me. We're going to talk about a whole lot of things, all right? Because at the end of the day, you're old enough to be my son, all right? And if I can help you, I'm going to help you.
Police say Buckner eventually broke, admitting he was this man, one of the 3 gunmen who sprayed bullets into a crowd outside El Mula Banquet Hall, killing 3, wounding 20.
Got the right to remain silent and do not talk to me. Any rights are you now willing to answer my question without having a lawyer present? Present, man. I don't know, I already have a lawyer. You already have a lawyer? Yeah, because I don't even know what we even talking about. Have you done anything to be concerned about? Okay.
But he asked for a lawyer again.
I don't know, I already have a lawyer, like, my mom always taught me that. So at this time, I'm not being arrested. At this time? Right now? This second? No. But maybe when we step out here and talk and look at all the evidence that we have, maybe. The question is, do you want to talk about this case or not? That's just, it's yes or a no.
Warnick Buckner got off of this whole situation. The first one, the 26 being shot, because they failed to read him his Miranda rights. You seen him in the interrogation room, breaking down, scared to death. And that's normally how it goes. You know, them rooms ain't no joke. If you never been in them, salute to you. Straight up. Because they'll put you in a pressure cooker if you allow them. Now, in his situation, they fumbled. They got too antsy. They got too excited. Forgot to read him his Miranda rights. Or, once they read him his Miranda rights, kept questioning them. That's against the rules. That's against the law now. I've told y'all on numerous occasions. I was placed in that situation. Asked for a lawyer. Few times. Kept questioning. Paid me no mind. But that might be why I ain't really get that much time. Because the case was flawed. You know, it was a lot of errors. But in this case, it worked out for him. Got the case thrown out. But then they come back 2 years later because Warnick Buckner just got arrested. I think it's in March of this year. For the murder of this 6-year-old. Drive-by shooting. It's a lot of drive-bys going on in this situation. But Devonte Barnes now is the lone man on trial. Telling it all, but he don't know who the shooters was because he wasn't really a part of it. Now, he's going to have to face the brunt of everything because it's still an ongoing investigation. But Since he don't know nothing, and anything they got out of Devonte Barnes they can't use, they got to figure out another way to bring this case to a close. But Devonte Barnes just been found guilty. And then I know you probably wondering like, yo, all right, we got all this information. What was all this about? Devonte Barnes, a 24-year-old admitted lookout during a mass shooting outside a Northwest Miami Dade music venue, could spend the rest of his life in prison after a jury late Friday found him guilty of a string of murder and attempted murder charges. Barnes wasn't accused of firing a single round, and more than 2 years after the gang-related shooting rampage devastated the community, he was the only participant facing prison time in the attack on a crowd outside the El Mullah club that left 3 dead and 20 people wounded. Prosecutors had earlier decided to drop charges against one accused gunman because his confession to the police came after he had requested a defense attorney and was likely to be thrown out of court. But after 5 hours of deliberation, the 12-member jury still determined Barnes had played a key role in coordinating the brazen and violent mass shooting, which was captured on surveillance video that made national news. Jurors, however, decided on lesser charges than the first-degree murder convictions that the state prosecutors had sought. He was found guilty on 3 counts of second-degree murder and 20 counts of second-degree attempted murder, an indication that his defense attorney's assertion that Barnes was unaware of the plans to open fire on a crowd outside of the club may have resonated with jurors. They also acquitted him on the charge of conspiracy to commit murder. Barnes, during videotape interrogation before his arrest in 2021, told detectives the shooting stemmed from a fight between senior members of opposing Opa-Locka gangs known as Black Blues and the Bricks. He said after a meeting with several associates near his home, a decision was made to take out Antonio Fopak Jones, a local rapper who was part of a group that had a music release party at El Mullah the night of the shooting. Barnes said the shooting stemmed from a long feud between a gang member referred to as Savage and Fopak. But Barnes said he was under the belief that Fopak would be taken to a secluded location and shot, and not that the group would open fire as dozens of people were leaving the banquet hall. Several weeks after the shooting, Savage released a rap video on YouTube called The Pull-Up. The state prosecutor showed several times to jurors in that they said repeatedly referred to the incident and glorified it. Barnes was in the video in some scenes holding a handgun. Prosecutors believe that several members of the Bricks poured into the parking lot at El Mullah, 7630 Northwest 186th Street, just before the show ended and opened fire with high-profile rifles as patrons were leaving. They believe the shooting came from the occupants of 3 vehicles, a white Nissan Pathfinder and a black Nissan Altima and a black Cadillac. About the time Barnes was taken into custody, so was Warnick Anthony Buckner, another man who appeared in the pull-up video. Police believe Buckner was one of the shooters and charged him, but the charges were dropped and he was released after prosecutors determined detectives erred during their interrogation of Buckner, who they said invoked his right to counsel. Buckner was in prison earlier this year after the state also charged him with the murder of a 6-year-old Liberty City girl who was leaving a birthday Now all party. this was over. Who's the biggest rapper in Opa-Locka, Florida? Imagine that, y'all. Straight up. I don't know what's wrong with black people. I know we had a situation in my city where a guy lost his life because 2 guys beefing over who got the most money. Same thing going on in Florida. They beefing over who's the king of Opa-Locka, and they both is from projects that they don't own. Whoever is the king is the owner of the property. You know what I mean? None of y'all guys is the king of Opa-Locka. Y'all just a residents of those apartment complexes. But people lost their life, yo. 6-year-old, 30-year-old woman with a 12-year-old child. Another innocent bystander. It's like, yo, come on, y'all, for what? Drill rap. Dissing back and forth. You know? That's the thing about drill rap. It gets so disrespectful, yo, that when a person react, ain't no telling how it's gonna go. You know? Because you overstepping boundaries. You crossing all the lines. And sometimes people can't think past that. And it lead to situations like these. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. Like I said, this is a war in Florida that's been going on for years now. Hopefully it's simmered down. You know, I don't know what's the update, how it been lately. But yeah, Devonte Barnes is ready to go to prison. He's still facing life. And that's just for being a lookout. Should have minded his business. You know. That's one of the worst things you can do is try to be a part of something that you really shouldn't have no part in. But this is the streets. And more specifically, this is the streets of Florida. But let me know how y'all feel about us in the comments. This is Keep It G News.
Nigga can't do what I do, y'all niggas can't copy me. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep the shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G.